life was one of the reasons he's so successful is that early on in his coaching career, he sought out a mentor. You know, he coached as an assistant coach with the Steelers for a number of years and really sought the head coach there, Noel, as a mentor for his life. And he had so much to say that one of the things that he is focused on giving back is that he felt like that mentor that helped him through so many things, he wanted to give back to the community and do the same thing. That's why he's focused as a coach, as a father, as a community leader to serve, to be a mentor for people, because it was so important in his life. He's got a great quote here that I'll read. But when you're seeking counsel, you look for someone who's already ahead of you, someone you can learn from. Being open to learning is being mentored is necessary for growth, but it's difficult for someone to master. Too often, it's a matter of ego or pride, which has a way of hindering our growth and development. So the dare you here is I dare you not to let your ego or pride come in the way of seeking out a mentor. But find someone. It could be a parent, a teacher, someone in your church, someone in your community that you respect, that knows you. Seek them out and make sure that you learn from them. Because just like Tony Dungy, that is so important in the business world, in your athletic world, or in your personal life. All right, challenge number 3. If you like The Office, this is you might know this one. So what do you think I'm getting at here? What do these pictures encompass that is going to be my third point?
Sometimes you'll encounter frustration.
Frustration. I was going for anger here. Obviously, if you've seen the show The Office, this person is very angry. You see this a lot in the business world. Computers, obviously, can make anybody angry. But my point is, take control, take initiative to control your emotions. Again, this sounds cliche. It's like, oh yeah, that's something I know. But you would be surprised how many times in the business world people don't do that. They let anger bubble up to a point that they either quit or say something they shouldn't have said. Happens all the time. It limits what you can do. It limits relationships. And remember, a lot of these emotions are not bad. It's not bad to be angry. It's what do you do with that anger? You know, the thing I always remember is a weakness is oftentimes a strength carried to an extreme. And I think that's a good point. So think about this. What emotions do you struggle with most in your life that will hinder you from making the most? Is it worry, fear, anger, low self-esteem, pride? I mean, all those things can limit what you do. And you've got to learn to control them. The other point that I often think about is you have less than 10 seconds to take an unhealthy thought captive before it multiplies and takes hold. I mean, take worry, for instance. Worry breeds other worries. If there's something in your life that you're worried about, and you don't take that thought captive in the first 10 seconds, it's going to lead to a second worry, and then a third worry, and it multiplies from there. And pretty soon it consumes you. And oftentimes, you miss an opportunity that you would have had without it. Third point, get rid of unproductive emotions. You get rid of excuses for unproductive emotions. So I hear that a lot. You know, I'm just an angry person. That's who I am. Or, you know, I came from a family or a background where, you know, we're just angry people. Where people are making excuses for them rather than looking to take initiative to change that. So last point, I dare you to take initiative to train yourself to first identify and then replace any potential unhealthy emotion with a positive action. Because it's one thing to say, okay, control your emotions, but you have to do something about it, or you can't change. So you've got to replace an unhealthy emotion with a positive action. So here's some examples. So I'll throw this out. If you worry a lot, what can you replace that with as a positive action? Replace an unhealthy worry. What do you think? I would say it's taking the worry captive and replacing it with an action that you can control. So, first of all, you have to figure out if the worry you can do anything about it. If you can't do anything about it, then you need to move on with your life and keep charging forward. If you can, if you're worried about your big test that you're studying for tomorrow, well then start studying. Because then that action will keep you from worrying, and then you can start actually doing something about it. If you're worried that a tsunami is going to hit Jacksonville, well, there's nothing you can do about that. So you just need to move on with your life and keep stepping forward until they eliminate that worry right in the first 10 seconds before it keeps on growing. What about low self-esteem? If you struggle with low self-esteem, what can you do about it? That's right. Start doing things that can bring confidence. Volunteer. If you there's nothing that would help increase your self-esteem by seeing, there's less privileged people out there that you could go through and volunteer and help. It would be a great way to increase your self-esteem. What about anger? If you struggle with anger, what are some actions you can do, some tangible actions you can do to help overcome that? Create art. Yes. I mean, some of the best art is creative. Take action is another one. If you're angry about something, you could take action and actually try to do something about it rather than just being angry. There's a lot of good change that has come in the world from people taking action out of anger. So my point is this. You've got to identify when an unhealthy emotion is coming on in your life, and then you've got to replace it with an action. In the business world, that is so important. Because if people are angry about something or people are frustrated about something, if you don't do anything about it, it's not going to get any better. That's true in your personal life, and that's true in the business world as well. Alright, so my last example here is this person, who I think does a very good job of controlling his emotions and running his business. Alright, anybody on this one? Fast food restaurant in the background? Is that Ray Kroc? That's close. This is True Kathy. He runs Chick-fil-A. Founder of Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A, again, I'm a numbers guy, so I'll throw these out there. They did $3.6 billion of sales last year, 1,500 restaurants, 282 million fried chicken sandwiches. If you were to stack all together, would be 21,000 miles. Somebody ate a chicken sandwich 9 every second last year. They had 43 straight years of positive earnings. And they estimated his wealth at $1.8 billion. Not too bad. But when you read True Kathy's biography, he struggled a lot early on with pride. He had a lot of people tell him he wasn't growing his restaurants fast enough. As Burger King and McDonald's were exploding in the 80s and 90s, he had a lot of people telling him that he wasn't growing fast enough. But he learned to control that emotion of pride and put that in his check. He also had people telling him that not being open on Sunday is suicide. That there's no way you can make a restaurant not open on Sunday. And instead of letting that pride do something that was against his convictions, he stuck to that. And because of that, he has turned Chick-fil-A into one of the largest, most successful privately held companies. But he had to control that emotion of pride to get there. He's got some great quotes out there. No goal is too high if we climb with care and confidence. Sometimes success is disguised as hard work. You have to protect your name. There's great examples of business leaders there. Okay, so in conclusion, my 3 points. Take initiative in your life. I dare you to persevere through difficulty. Find a mentor that can help you and control your emotions and harness those in taking action.